Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ortelia's holiday gathering. It's that time of the year when we celebrate and we talk about our own experiences, learnings, and also a little bit of future perspectives. So, I'm here to talk about DevOps with data shooting for the moon, and I'm talking about space technologies today. So, it will be quite exciting. Before I start, I would like to introduce myself, why I'm here. I'm one of the members of the Technology Oversight Committee at Aurelius. I have been working with the Aurelius team since the inception of this project. I'm also the founder for the DevOps community of practice here in Canada, which has several chapters in Ottawa, Montreal, Edmonton, Atlantic provinces. If you are eager to join any of these chapters, and if you're here in Canada, we welcome you all to join us. I'm also the chair for the ambassador program at the Continuous Delivery Foundation, which is focusing on evolving continuous delivery posture when it comes to open source projects and technologies. I hold a tech advisory board member position as well as a published author from Pact. Pact is a publishing house. So if you're curious to know about my book, Strategizing Continuous Delivery in Cloud, it is up for grab on Amazon or any of the similar digital platforms where you can find ebooks and books for technology. I'm fortunate to have been nominated in 3 categories by the DevOps Dozen this time. So obviously, I'm here to ask for your votes as well. So enough about myself. I think I'll start this session and I have like 10 minutes today. So I'll be very quick, but I will give you a perspective which can excite all the DevOps people here in this room, that how we can make difference in space technology. And if I would start from the market potential, the global space technology, space tech as we refer it to, the market size of this is valued $420 billion in 2022, and it is expected to grow at a compound annual rate of 7.5 from 2023 to 2030. Interesting space technology is open for private investments. One of the key drivers of increased traction and valuation of this sector is the decreasing cost of ownership of space technology, creative use cases where organizations are shooting for the moon. And if I'm not wrong, shooting for the Mars. So now, what is this great promise and why the DevOps people should be excited about it? So I'll talk about like a little bit more perspective, growth in miniaturized satellite segment. Like if you are following CubeStats, that's one example, which is often used for, let's say, technology demos or conduct experiments, educational or academic purposes, and some commercial use cases. Space communication systems is also growing. Particularly, there's a lot of interest in LEO low orbit satellite, which is geared towards bringing new businesses and even act as an enabler for humans flight to space. And we can talk more about it offline as well. But another interesting area is space stations for businesses. And when businesses can start to build, own, operate space systems and perform commercial activities, for example, mining the moon or asteroids for materials, services into space. So in space habitats, LEO labs, or supply refueling depots, space traffic management, satellite tracking, intelligence data services being some of the examples of the services which are being, considered to be valued when we talk about space tech. And building and operating space infrastructure goes without saying. So the array of infrastructure services, tools, robot integration, etc., etc. So there's a lot of action from a space technology perspective. Morgan Stanley forecasted that the global space industry has a potential to generate revenue of more than 1 trillion or even more in 2040, up to 350 billion, which is currently kind of targeted. So there is a lot of promise. And this promise, of course, if you talk about big cloud service providers like Azure, AWS, and Google, they have started to work on it. Azure, for example, has launched a platform and services ecosystem called Azure Space. These services are helping the space community to explore new areas of collaboration. Similarly, for AWS, AWS has launched an accelerator program for space technology. It has taken an interesting and next generation approach towards space tech. So if you're curious, you can actually research a little bit about AWS and its services. I've also written a blog on this topic. So if you're curious to know more about all this, you can also get hold of my blog. Google is also investing in startup ecosystem in space technology. Google has partnered with SpaceX. Google Sky is another project, which is a celestial map of space. So quite interesting developments happening in space tech. So when we talk about all these developments, we would also like to talk about the careers in the space. And when I talk about DevOps nowadays, I would say DevOps, data, and cyber together makes a holistic picture for the DevOps professionals. So if you are a DevOps professional and want to be a part of this value chain, the opportunity is huge, starting from facilitating remote operations, processing of multitude of data collected, and developing applications to make it user-friendly. For example, in agriculture sector, which is more relatable. Similar use cases are there for mining, for other areas, even product development and manufacturing. Space technology automation is another area to set your eyes on, as aerospace technology experts say that the next decade will demand skills to automate outer space governance, orchestrate downstream traffic optimization, as well as upstream traffic as well. So again, another exciting opportunity in making. Data engineers are laying the foundation for new product innovations and even unimagined possibilities. Data science and machine learning play an important role, for example, in processing images, predictive modeling of not only trajectories, but also, for example, cyber engineers in space technology. Security solutions for space technology is also an area of potential growth. With quantum technology joining hands with cyber professionals, I think it is an extremely exciting area to watch out for, because we would be able to explore new areas of space and also new use cases from a space technology perspective. Space and software engineering leaders. And I always talk about this because, of course, it's a grassroots journey. There's a lot of action from an operational, tactical perspective. But what if you are a software engineering leader? I believe the growing demand of software engineering leaders to become part of space technology ecosystem is in making. There will be a need of more and more leadership perspective in space tech. And obviously, it is needless to say that if you're a DevOps entrepreneur, the even opportunity is even stronger and bolder with the global economy. When the global economy will go into space by 2040, and this $1 trillion promise, which is in making. So there's a lot of action happening from DevOps perspective, along with data and cyber professionals. There's a lot of new opportunities coming in, and it demands not only your technical skills, but also creativity, exploration, experimentation, all the SREs and all the DevOps evangelist. I think there's a huge amount of potential and exciting opportunities waiting for you in the space tech. I believe that this will be one of the next revolutions for all of us working in DevOps, data, and cyber. With that, because the time was short, there will be significant development around defense and alliances to develop this area. Watch out for my blogs, watch out for the space, where we can brainstorm and collaborate on this topic further. Space technology will be driving one of the biggest transformation, and DevOps people and communities. Let's be part of this ecosystem. Let's try to steer the needle in the right direction and make this future happen. With that, I would like to end my talk today. Thank you for being here. And if this talk looks promising, it's exciting, you know where to find me. Thank you.